So, why this topic today? Well, because in this time that we're in, the church is silent while society is begging for its voice. The church is silent when society is begging. You can see there's so much, like people like Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, like just different kind of political, interesting voices are coming out now. And really, when I looked at them, at first I was like, oh, it's good. This will sound good stuff. But I couldn't help but think they've kind of occupied a space that maybe the church used to have, when it comes to just telling you about life and how to live. So yeah, there's silence from the church. There's an inner discontent. I know lots of people that have left the church, and you might know some, for different reasons, not always good reasons. But there are some genuine believers that just feel like, this church thing, I'm not down with this. But the most important reason I'll say is the spirit. The Lord is calling us to greater expression in this time. There is something that the Lord is saying in this time, in this season, that we need to really pay attention to when it comes to the kingdom and to His body. So what is the purpose of the church? And what is the church in itself? So I asked you guys to fill out the 2 words. Has everybody filled it out? The top 2 words that describe what the church is. Where is Esther? Esther, yeah, did you tally it up? So what did people say? What's the top 2?
Oh, okay. The top 2
Yeah.
is religious institution and congregation.
A religious institution and a congregation.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. So my guess was that often when people think of church, they think of a building and also a religious institution, right? So obviously you can describe the church in so many ways. When I started looking and when I was conducting interviews as well, it's like, wow, the church is such a dynamic thing that there's so many ways to describe it. But often people think of the church as a building and people think of it as a religious institution. How often do people think of it as a government or nation? In fact, when people hear the word government, they're like, in fact, some people say like, that political stuff is, it's for there. This is now the church, right? The whole idea of government being church, I think people don't necessarily think in that way. I'm going to get into that a bit more. So does anybody recognize these 2 buildings? What's the building there on the right? Westminster Cathedral, you said? What was that?
I think one of them is.
Oh, okay, so that cathedral.
Yeah, they're 2 different buildings. So this one is actually the Canterbury.
Oh.
Yeah.
I knew that. Yeah, it wasn't
The
London.
cathedral. They're both palaces, or used to be anyway. And this is actually the palace of
Westminster.
Oh, so that's not big.
Westminster.
That's done, right?
Yeah, Parliament. Yeah.
Okay.
This is where Parliament. Yeah. So my question actually is, what happens in these 2 buildings? And on the right hand side, if I just remind me, when I was in university in Bristol, I was looking for a new church, and I thought, let me go to this church, the Church of England church. And the guy was talking. It was a very similar setup to this, and he was talking about the farm and what's happening with the farm and Suffolk farm. And I was thinking, I don't get easily bored, but I was thinking, this is quite boring. But let me, he's gonna bring it together at the end and talk about how the Lord has been farming us. So I don't know. He finished, and the whole thing was about the farm. The farming. I was thinking, I didn't get it. And then they got up and then they said a few words, and people said, amen, amen. Everybody there was old, apart from myself. I might have tried to go there one more time just to it was super boring. I was like, wow. I don't care if something's boring if it's true anyway. But it's just like, what's happening here is one man who's talking to these people. What's happening here though, she's talking about the affairs of state. That's what's happening. And it's also not, if you look at the Parliament, it's not a one-way conversation happening. This is them representing, they are in the Queen's Parliament. And they're there to talk about, to legislate and to talk about what's happening in society. What's happening here?
Worship service.
Concert. What's that?
Worship service.
A worship service. Funny enough, I just grabbed this picture off Google because I wasn't too sure myself. But the fact that I'm not sure, now look, there's some stylistic things. Somebody prefers this style versus this other style. But sometimes when I see most of this kind of like the latest kind of trending way we do church,
Like a hill song.
like a song thing. Yeah. Sometimes I don't know if you get that feeling. So I look at this sometimes and I think, is this what Christ wanted? That's what I think sometimes. I think of the setup. I think of what we're doing. And sometimes you enjoy it, it's great, you know. But I think, oh, look, is this what Christ? Was this his intention? Is this what he wanted?
That's in music, or that's in what? What is it that you're?
No, just the whole kind of setup. Like I'm like, okay, you know, you're reading scripture. The Lord, you know, he came, Christ died, the apostles, and then it's like, oh, that's the like. Is this what we're? Is this what?
Is this all it is?
Is this all it is? Maybe that's the thing. I don't know. So anyway, that thought comes to me sometimes. I don't know. There was a song that we used to sing in my previous church, which was "There Must Be More Than This." Yeah, I used to always hate when that song came on because I just don't enjoy the song. But I remember I used to always laugh with my younger brother, especially, because we'll be singing "There Must Be More Than This," and we're like, "Yeah, there must be more."